Welcome back to the Fenway Focus. My name is Jason. I am here with Derek for episode 28 of the Fenway Focus. We have a jam-packed midweek show. Well, it's technically Saturday because we were supposed to record yesterday, but we had some Florida technical difficulties. I'm not sure Derek wants to talk about it, but but we're back for our regularly scheduled program. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the Red Sox past two series and even the first game of this Yankee series. So I'm going to over to you, Derek. Derek, how are you feeling other than the whole Wi-Fi fiasco? And why don't you give us a breakdown of the Padres series in your thoughts and opinions and takes?
I mean, the Padres series was kind of a crap show. Let's be honest. Not the most ideal of series. I think. I mean, let's be honest. The Red Sox kind of got creamed the first two games, and then the third game they had a nice game against Matt Waldron, obviously knuckleballer. So that was kind of nice to see a knuckleball at Fenway Park again, obviously, but not a great series for the Red Sox. I mean, let's be honest. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Padres. Where the Padres, have the Padres been playing well as of late? Yes, they have. But it felt like with the momentum the team was carrying into that series, that maybe they should have won 2 out of 3. And now, especially we look after that series at what we know now, with the Marlins series and now the start of this Yankees series, the Red Sox are now 15-5 in their last 20, but 2 of those 5 losses came, against the Padres in that series. Not saying not saying that the Red Sox have been really, really good. Don't get me wrong. I think they have the best record in baseball since May 19th. Crazy to think about, but it does look like a little bit of a missed opportunity to even add another game to the win column. Because now you look at the Red Sox in the standings as of today, Saturday, July 6th, as we were recording, about an hour before the second game of the Red Sox-Yankees series. The Red Sox are only 4.5 back of the Yankees, right? One of those losses against the Padres is a win. Now it's 3.5 back. And then you never know what happens the rest of the series against the Yankees. The Yankees have been cold as of late. They're 5-15 in the last 20. So I'm just, in terms of that Padres series, it would have been nice to win too, but it was a little bit of a, I don't want to say step back, but a little bit of a bump in the road, kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna happen too. Especially against a team you don't normally face. I think the Sox have struggled against teams in the National League for a little in recent history, a lot. I mean, last season they couldn't win a freaking series at Fenway. You lost the series, I think, to the Rockies out of all teams. So it happens, but at the same time, I feel like you got to be better. Houck had one of his worst starts of the season too, but his ERA before Friday's game was 2.67. He's still very good, but it doesn't help in the Saturday game too. That the Red Sox made 3 errors. Yeah, pretty solid. I'm gonna go to the Miami series, and then hold on before we go. Yeah, Winkowski had a great start too. Jansen gets a save against Waldron. That's the only game the Sox won. But let's go to the Miami series where I feel like in my opinion, this was a must sweep. If you want to keep that momentum, if you want to make a statement to not just the fans, but the whole league, saying, okay, you're capable of beating the bad teams and especially beating down the bad teams as bad as they did. Sox won the first game 8-3. That was the Cutter Crawford game. Second game, they won 7-2. It was a pretty good start from Bayo. I think he won 6 2/3. Then the 4th of July game, oh man, that was crazy. You went from probably they weren't on the cusp of losing, but Pivetta had a no-no and then they tied it. And then you go to extra innings, and Duran cut down a runner, which was great. The game went 12 innings, and if it went another inning, I think it should have been a tie, but it didn't. It went 12. That's fine. We would have been not crying, but we would have been yapping if it went more than 12, I'm sure. But the Sox, it was tough because another thing was Jesus Sanchez made his way to the Red Sox killer team, along with guys like Rowdy Tellez, MJ Melendez, Colton Cowser, Gleyber Torres. Some of those guys. Jesus Sanchez is now one of them. And welcome to the One Save Club, Greg Weissert. Derek, what are your thoughts on the series?
Well, we love the One Save Club, obviously. But it's a little bit. I don't want to say weird. I mean, the Red Sox won the first 2 games pretty easily, and this is a Marlins team that they're 30 and 57, I think, or at least they were after the series. And you look at that Marlins game; they had Belozo pitching, which sounds like if they try to combine Bayo and Bozo together, and that's what they got. Belozo. And then but Cutter Crawford, very nice start, 6 innings, just the 3 hits, only 1 run. Also didn't walk anyone, had 7 strikeouts. Bailey Horn looked good in his 2 innings out of the bullpen. Then in the second game, obviously Brian Bayo with a massive bounce back start after giving him some extra rest. He still, did give up 7 hits, but went 6 2/3, just the 1 earned. Only 1 walk, which is big for him, and then the 7 strikeouts. Obviously, he did work around some traffic, but it was definitely an improved performance for him. And then you kind of look into the third game where the Red Sox probably, with Pivetta going 7 strong, only the 1 hit in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs, 10 strikeouts. They very well should have had an easy win here, but then Slayton ran into some trouble. 2 walks, he didn't give up any hits, but the 2 walks come back to bite him, and then Bernardino gets it the 2 hits. And the Marlins put 2 on the board, tie it up. Jansen, obviously, strong 9th inning. And then Zach Kelly comes out strong 10th inning. The Red Sox put 2 up in the top of the 11th. And then Zach Kelly in his 2nd inning gives up 2 runs. Obviously, one of them being the ghost runner. So, on the Jesus Sanchez home run. But then the Red Sox go out and grab another 2 runs, which was huge for them in the top of the 12th. And then Weissert does give up the ghost runner to score, but Sox get the win 6-5. And overall, it probably should not have gone 12 innings. Let's be honest, it really shouldn't have. But I think I think that's a game where you can still look at and go, you know what? They probably still should have won in 9, but even then, they fought through the adversity. They, every time the Marlins, swung and punched back, they got up and punched them right back in the mouth. And I think that's kind of a good thing. It showed some resilience with this team. And we'll get to the Yankees. The game against the Yankees, obviously, the first game of the series. But it's to show that the team does have some resilience, and they're not just going to die and roll over when things start to go away from them, which is a very pleasant sight for a team that is trying to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I thought of 3 things you need in a good playoff team. You need talent, consistency, and fight. The Sox have talent. The Sox, I would say, I don't want to say lack consistency, but they're starting to gain some. Then they've shown they've had fight. And I think we'll get to the Yankees game in a second, but that Marlins game, the last one, the 4th of July one, showed the Sox had some fight. Right? Duran cutting down the runner, Sox getting 2 runs instead of the 1 ghost runner in the 11th and 12th. Cora always stresses on it, and he does get it. I know it was Matt Andrees pitching, the guy who hadn't pitched in a game since 2021, which is crazy. Red Sox legend. But I think at the end of the day, a win's a win. You can make all the arguments you want. The Marlins are in last place in the NL East. They're at the time 30 and 57. Cool. At the end of the day, the Sox still won. And if we're in September and we're like, okay, the Sox, they're up by one game. You look at one of these games, you're like, they stole this win. They absolutely stole it, too. I think in the case of the Yankees game, do you want to just go to that right now, or should we wait?
We might as well. You talk about stealing games.
You talk about stealing games. The Yankees game was the definition of it. What's Jack Edwards' phrase? They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
I don't think that's just a Jack Edwards thing. But...
when I think of Jack Edwards, when I think of that phrase, I think of Jack Edwards.
No. That's just when I think. But like, you don't think of Jack Edwards and go, "Oh, that's the phrase you think of."
For me, I do.
No, do you not think about every single time the Bruins have just like beat the Leafs in Game 7?
That's what I think about. And I think of Jack Edwards' call.
No, but not like not that one. Oh my god, what's the other one? I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, it turned the Leafs into mulch, wasn't it? Like that's the line.
The Leafs are mulch again.
The Leafs are mulch again. Yeah, that's the line I always think about. That's the line that pops in my head.
Because mulch again.
That's the. It's not the take victory from the jaws of defeat. That's not really like a Jack Edwards thing. I mean, but also too, it's also like that doesn't have to be against the Leafs. Whenever I think of Jack Edwards, I just think of Bruins beating the Leafs. Because that could be like, oh, the Bruins. Remember when the Bruins came back? The Bruins beat Montreal in Game 7 in 2011, I think it was, on that cup run. Like, I'm not saying I could go for. It doesn't have. That wouldn't have to be like a Leafs thing. When it comes to Jack Edwards, I think of the Leafs are mulched.
But anyways, the Sox, obviously, you're going to hear it a lot. They were down 2 outs, 2 strikes, top of the 9th, 2 outs, runner on first, Dom Smith. I want to talk about that Dom Smith thing, too. Like, Cora could have very well just kept Romy Gonzalez and said, whatever, just hit. We're probably not winning. Instead, he just turned to Dom Smith because, like, you never know. On righty, on lefty, cool. You never know. And what did he do? He poked a single to right center. And very next to that bat, Yoshida. Like, I was on my phone and I looked up and I couldn't believe it. So and then Cedon.
That Massa homer was something. Let's be honest. That was the most Masataka Yoshida at bat ever. And you knew you knew there was like one of two things was gonna happen. Either he was gonna ground out to the second baseman, or he was gonna hit a homer. There was like no in between. It was like one or the other is gonna happen. And then and that wasn't just a homer. That ball was crushed. That wasn't just like that wasn't a short porch homer.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say next. Like that wasn't just your average like Yankee Stadium home run. That was like. Now, would that have gone at Fenway? Probably. Yeah, I think that's at least in the bullpen at Fenway. Just saying. I don't know. It was at least 400. It was like, what, 400 plus? No? I gotta check. I want to check. Let's see. Romy Gonzalez's homer. That was crazy, too. 405. Okay. 405 feet. Yes, that would have cleared.
Massa's homer would have been a homer in all 30 ballparks.
Right, so it wasn't a cheapie. But the other thing is, Yoshida hit a home run off of a guy who doesn't give up home runs.
That home run just paid for his whole contract. I don't care what anyone says.
Hopefully.
No, it absolutely did. Seeing the Yankees just... If anyone's mulch, it's the
Oh my
Yankees.
gosh, you know what's crazy? That's his second home run given up all year in 37 games.
No, that's what I said. That home run just paid for Yoshida's entire contract. Rafaela's homer might have just paid for his entire extension as well.
I haven't felt this way since 2021. I don't know why. Like, this team has fight. Like, they could have very well said, yeah, we just lost. People were putting, like, okay, yeah, the Sox lost. Writers probably wrote the story, and then they had to, like, scrap it and rewrite it.
They probably wrote the story because there's 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the odds are not high, let's be honest. Also, too, like they can't. They probably had to start writing it by like the 8th inning. So like, you know, to be
It,
fair,
yeah,
you know, you know about writing stuff for games.
I do. I know a thing or two.
But I'll add this fact into it too. I don't think this is like the 2021 team. This is totally different. This is the 2021 team still had a bunch of pieces. I don't okay, I should say a bunch of pieces, but had some core pieces still from that 2018 team. You had Rafi Devers, you had Xander Bogaerts, you had JD Martinez, Chris Sale was there, Christian Vasquez, Nathan
Erod.
Eovaldi, Eduardo Rodriguez. Like go down, there's still a lot of pieces from that 2018 team there. And the pieces that were the guys who were playing, yeah, Alex Verdugo was part of the Mookie Betts trade, but like Hunter Renfroe, like yeah, like that's not like a homegrown guy though. Like it's yeah, he's kind of popped for the Red Sox that year, but like it's not the same kind of feeling. You like this Red Sox team, right? You look at this Red Sox team and you go down the team and the players on this team. This isn't your, Red Sox of the 2010s where, where it's big free agents and cores that stick together and whatnot. This is a legitimate. This is starting to become a legitimate, like either homegrown team or at least players that the Red Sox developed in the farm system and debuted with the Red Sox. Because you run down the guys, Jaron Duran, homegrown guy. David Hamilton has only played for the Red Sox in the big leagues. Rafael Devers, homegrown. Willie Abreu's only played for the Red Sox in the big leagues. Masataka Yoshida, I know he's not, but like he's only played for the Red Sox in the big leagues. So in terms of the big leagues, he's a Red Sox guy. Connor Wong only played for the Red Sox in the big leagues. Rafaela, homegrown guy. Emmanuel Valdez only played for the Red Sox. All right, Tanner Houck, homegrown. Cutter Crawford, homegrown. Brian Bayo, homegrown. Josh Winkowski has only played in the big leagues for the Red Sox, right? Like those, and you even get to the point of like Tristan Casas, even though he's been injured, but he's homegrown. But you're going to be getting him back, right?
Right. Yeah.
Garrett Whitlock, I know he's out for the rest of the year, but he's only played in the big leagues with the Red Sox. This is totally different. This is a team where it's a lot of either full-blown homegrown guys or guys who the Red Sox acquired when they were minor leaguers, when they were prospects, and they've only played in the big leagues for the Red Sox. And
you have a rotation almost full, basically full of them.
yeah, the only difference is the only guy who's not is Nick Pivetta. And let's be honest, Pivetta, I mean, he's always kind of been an analytics darling, but like never really he was never consistent in Philadelphia. I'll just put it at that. He was never that kind of guy in Philadelphia. You look at his years in Philadelphia. Like, yeah, he had the 2018 season where he had a 4.77 ERA, 3.79 FIP, and it's like, okay, that's not a bad, but like this 2019, he was bad. Like 5.38 ERA, 5.47 FIP, right? And then in 2020, with the Phillies, he had a 15.88 ERA in 5 2/3 innings. Then comes to the Red Sox, 10 innings, only gives up 2 runs, right? But still, like it's not like he was like basically done for in Philadelphia, right? And
yeah, they tried it. They put him in the bullpen, and then it didn't work. And then they put him back in the rotation, didn't work. And the Sox traded for him. And everyone's like, "Oh no, they traded."
And then they let him,
Brandon
and then
Workman,
they made him a starter again.
And they made him a starter again.
And they let him stick as a starter, and they gave him that, no, you're going to be a starter, instead of, you might be a starter, you might not, and then look what happens. But that's the point I'm saying, though, with this team. It's different because it's not a, 2021 team where, as good as that 2021 team, and I know, obviously, too, yes, you had guys like Devers, Bogaerts, when they're homegrown, Erod, not homegrown, but only played for the Red Sox in the big leagues. Not that team didn't have them, but that team, a lot of those guys were already established, right? You had, like, Devers was already mostly established, right? But he was already established. Bogarts was already established, right? JD Martinez is definitely not homegrown, right? Christian Vasquez was already established, right? And then it's like Kike, Hunter Renfroe, Marwin Gonzalez, who sucked, by the way.
Marwin Gonzalez.
Kyle Schwarber, like, deadline pickup. Yeah, but, like, even on the pitching side of things, you had, like, Eovaldi was a guy, yes, he won a World Series with the Red Sox, but is he really a Red Sox guy, though? Let's be honest, right? He's bounced around, right?
Exactly.
Eduardo Rodriguez, yeah, he was a Red Sox guy. Pivetta at the time was a different situation. Like Garrett Richards, right? Martin Perez,
Garrett
right?
Richards.
Like Adam Ottavino. Matt Barnes, Red Sox guy. I know we look back at him less fondly, but
he only had one stretch where he was really good.
But
That's
over the
it.
course of his Red Sox career, he was mostly a solid kind of middle relief setup guy, right? In that kind of area, right?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but none of those guys, like, where you look at this team, where it's like, Rafael is a rookie, Willier is a rookie, Jaron Duran's having a full-blown breakout season after last year. David Hamilton's, technically, I don't know if he's technically a rookie, but he's in his first full year, right? Connor Wong is his first year as the starting catcher, right? Tanner Houck in the rotation and blossoming into this ace. Cutter Crawford and Brian Bayo on their second full seasons. This is a young team, too, so it feels totally different than guys who have kind of already been there, done that, and then veterans around them.
And the other thing about 2021, let me ask you this question. Who got hurt in 2021? Yep, there you go. Red Sox were fully healthy.
Well, Chris
Sale doesn't count. Sale doesn't count because they were really good without him. Then when they got him back, that's when they started to slump a little bit. Or a lot of it, actually. They had a terrible August when Sale came back. But my point is, did the Red Sox have any big injuries?
No, and you know why? Because if they had any big injuries, they would have been done for. Because you look at the guys who played for that team in 2021, Marwin Gonzalez, I love Kevin Plawecki in terms of like the fact that he was a decent backup catcher, but I also hated him because he couldn't throw anyone out. Franchi Cordero, Danny Santana, Michael Chavis, love him, but Jonathan Aruz, Jose Iglesias caught lightning in a bottle, but still, Travis Shaw, I love Jack Lopez, love Yairo Munoz, but like, let's be honest, like Taylor Motter, right?
Taylor Motter, oh my God, immaculate grid.
Bobby Dahlbeck played 133 games.
That's the point I was making. Christian Arroyo was the only guy who got hurt. I feel like.
And that
other than COVID's off the table for a second. Ready? Christian Vasquez, 138 games. That's as a catcher too. Bobby Dahlbeck, 133 games. Arroyo only played 57. Everyone else played 130 plus games. Bogarts played 144. Devers played 156. Verdugo played 146. Kike played 134. Renfroe, 144. JD Martinez, 148. Backup catcher Kevin Plawecki, 64.
How did Marwin Gonzalez play 77 games for that team?
Because he was the starting left fielder, no?
I know, but still, that still feels insane that he played that many games.
Right. Then when you go to the pitching side. Ready? Pitching side. Evaldi, 32.
32 starts,
Erod, 31 starts. Pivetta, 30 starts. Garrett Richards, 22 starts, but you got to remember, he got demoted to the bullpen. Martin Perez, 22, same deal.
Demoted to the bullpen.
Tanner Houck, 13, but he was getting optioned.
And he also, a couple games, 5 games out of the bullpen, too.
They were abusing the option
those are
thing.
opener games as well. I would assume those bullpen games are opener games. I would assume. And then, like, Chris Sale made 9 starts. I know they had, like, Brad Peacock make a start. Connor Siebold made a start. I know Cutter Crawford also made a start. But, like, there wasn't, like, a ton of...
and everybody in that bullpen had incredible years. Like, Whitlock, right? Phillips Valdez. Matt Andriese. Hansel Robles.
No. Matt Andriese was terrible.
He was bad.
Terrible.
He was bad, but he was part of that opening day.
No, he was bad, but he was bad. Whitlock a changeup. That's what matters.
Robles, Yaxel Rios. Oh my God,
Ryan Weber.
Austin Bryce before he got DFA'd. Ryan Brazier when he came back was actually pretty good. Ryan Weber. Oh my God.
Dude, Hansel Robles. Dude, the guy went on the run.
I said Hansel Robles.
No, but let's acknowledge the run he went on, though.
Yes.
Like, that 21 team, if they had any serious... Like, if Bogarts went out, that team's done for.
He did. A little bit, and they were screwed.
No, but, like, if long-term...
Yeah, I know, long-term,
If he went out long-term, like Trevor Story this year, or Tristan Casas, they're screwed. That team would have been screwed. Who would have played shortstop? Marwin? Christian Arroyo?
And it depends what
Arrows?
Kike Hernandez.
Kike? And we know how that went, right? We know how that went.
I know, but this year, I mean, okay, let's go through the lineup and let's see how many guys were homegrown. Vasquez, homegrown. Dahlbeck, homegrown. Arroyo, I'm not counting that.
No,
Bogart's homegrown.
Means you were either drafted or signed as an international free agent with the team.
Yes, Bogart's homegrown. Devers homegrown. Verdugo, not homegrown. Kike, not homegrown. Renfroe, not homegrown. JD, not homegrown. Marwin, obviously not homegrown. Plawecki, not homegrown. Schwarber, not homegrown. Cordero, not homegrown. Santana, Danny Santana, God no. Duran,
yes.
But Duran, he was good for like 10-ish games.
Yeah.
Travis Shaw, that doesn't count though.
No, I mean he was homegrown at one point.
He was, but he's more known. Yeah.
So was Jose Iglesias. But doesn't count. Michael Chavis was homegrown.
Michael Chavis, but they flipped him at the deadline for Fudge Davis.
He was also terrible. But, I mean, he got us Austin Davis.
All right, ready? Erod.
Nope.
I don't count that.
No, he's not homegrown because they traded...
I know. They traded him for Andrew Miller. I know.
Which actually, fun fact, we did this on Pesky Reports against the prospect. It's kind of a throwback against the prospect. Who allowed the Red Sox to get Eduardo Rodriguez?
Like, what do you mean who allowed? Like Charrington?
Okay. No. So they traded Andrew Miller to get Erod. But how did they get Andrew Miller?
In a trade?
Yeah.
What? Who allowed it?
Who did they trade to get Andrew Miller?
I thought it was Erod, no?
No. No. The Red Sox got Erod for Andrew Miller. But for the Red Sox to acquire Andrew Miller, who did they have to trade?
Oh. I don't know. Who was it?
Dustin Richardson. Which, if you run the line, and I brought this up on the Pesky Report, if you run the line, Dustin Richardson is the reason the Red Sox have Roman Anthony. If you run the line.
That's wild. Oh my God.
Because Dustin Richardson was traded straight up for Andrew Miller, and Andrew Miller was then traded straight up for Erod, and then the comp pick the Red Sox got for Erod was used to select Roman Anthony. So shout out Dustin Richardson. As of last year at like 43, he was pitching in like a Canadian indie ball.
We should have him on. Oh my God. So how do you feel being the comp pick, technically, or contributing to Roman Anthony's success?
Dude, Dustin Richardson was like an MLB 2K10 legend on like.
Oh my God, I wanna have him on.
Straight legend.
Does he have a Twitter?
Michael Bowden.
Does he have a Twitter?
I don't know. Ryan Kalish is another one, dude. Aaron Bates, shout out. That's like my favorite Red Sox prospect of all time. Jeff Bailey's another kind of goat from that time. Shout out Aaron Bates. The Dodgers, I think he's one of the Dodgers hitting coaches. One of the Dodgers hitting coaches. I don't know if he's like the co-hitting coach or what, but he's the he's one of the hitting coaches.
Well, we're gonna try to have him on, but all right, let's go back down the line. Nate Eovaldi, homegrown?
Nope.
No. Martin Perez? No.
Nope.
Whitlock? No.
No, he's
probably not.
No, he's technically not.
Pavetta? No.
No.
Sale?
No.
No. Davis?
No.
No. Hauk? Yes.
Yeah.
Robles? No. Josh
No.
Taylor? Forgot about that guy. Yeah, homegrown. Josh Taylor?
No,
I'm pretty sure he
I don't
is.
think so. Was he drafted? I don't know if he was drafted. No, he's not homegrown. He debuted in the minor leagues with the Phillies and then was with Arizona. So no, Josh Taylor, no.
Okay. Darwin's in.
Yes.
But yeah.
Matt
But yeah,
Barr.
that's my point. My point is, look how many guys were homegrown then. And look how many guys homegrown now.
Well,
right?
They have 11 homegrown guys on their 40-man.
Right now?
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay,
But
I'll run
if you
through
go
the
through
guys
the
on the
lineup,
big league roster. You have Jaron Duran, you have Rafael Devers, you
Sadon,
have Cedon Rafaela. And then you move to the rotation. You have Houck, Cutter Crawford, Brian Bayo. Um, in the bullpen, you don't have anyone in the bullpen as of right now. Tristan Casas is
Zach Kelly,
no.
no.
Kelly was a free agent signing. He was with the Angels before. And then on the 40 man, also you have Chris Murphy, Brian Mata, um, Bobby Dahlbeck,
Brandon
and
Walter.
yeah, Brandon Walter. And then also too on the 40 man is Luis Perales and Wilfredo Gonzalez, which they don't count towards that 11 because they haven't debuted in the big leagues technically, I guess. But they're homegrown, so you technically bump that up to 13. And also too, or unless they're not counting the guys on the injured list, I don't know. But also too, Brian Mata might be on this Red Sox team very soon. There's that
Yeah.
too.
Here's the other thing too. The Sox need arms right now. They're very the bullpen's very much taxed right now. You had 2 extra inning games where you went through
Well,
a
you have
lot
the
of your
All-Star
bullpen.
break. Let's be fair. There's
You have the
All-Star
All-Star break, so you can get guys to pitch a lot more, but still, you need arms.
Chris Martin getting injured. Although I think
Yeah.
they probably put him on the injured list in part to so for pitchers it is a 15-day injury list, but you have the All Star break. So if you go, it's as of is it retroactive to yesterday or was it
Yes.
retroactive? So
Yesterday, because he didn't pitch yesterday.
no, but I'm saying did he pitch on the 4th? Did
I
they
don't
make
think
it?
he did.
Did they?
Let me
Because
check.
I don't know what day they made it retroactive to.
I think they can do it retroactive to the game that he doesn't pitch. The
Yeah,
last
so
game.
they might have done it on like the 4th for like the 4th, but whatever. But however they did it, right?
Yeah, Martin
15
didn't
days is
pitch.
basically
Yeah.
2 weeks. So Martin will pretty much be back. Maybe not the first day of the All Star break after the All Star break, but maybe the second or third day. So he'll be back soon after the All Star break if he doesn't need extra time, right? So there's
Yeah.
not this. So this putting Martin on the IL, it's not this like, oh, he's gonna miss 2 weeks, just over about 2 weeks of. No, he's not missing 2 weeks a game because you have what like 4 days there where you don't play. So realistically, he only misses about really like a week, maybe week and a half at the most of games in terms of games that he's missing. Like that's honestly like the Red Sox kind of won out with that in terms of like if you had to put someone on the injured list, the perfect time is right around the All Star break.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited because the Sox are not season high 9 games above 500. I don't think
Yeah.
they made it above last year. What was their max last year? Was it 9?
I have no clue.
Let me look. Let's see. What do you think it was?
Oh God.
And I'll tell you what it was.
Dude, I don't freaking know.
Let's see.
I would say maybe. You know what? I'm gonna go with 10.
Let's see.
But I feel actually no. There's no way they were 10 over 5. Last year's team was like they'd go like 5 over then 5 under. I'm gonna go like 8. I'm gonna go 8.
It's 9.
Yeah, right.
But their most games under 500 was 7.
Yeah, they were very flip floppy last year.
Their longest win streak was 8.
So this year, the most games they've been under 500 is 2, and that was on May 18th. After May 18th, so May 19th onward, they have the best record in baseball.
That's crazy.
So put that in reference. That since May 19th, they literally have the best record in baseball. Since May 19th, they've only lost 15 games. Also, they've won 25. They're 25 and 15 in that stretch. They're 10 games over 500.
And in extra innings this year, they're 5-4.
Also, have you seen the Red Sox record on the road this season?
Yes, it's like much better.
They're 28. They have the best
28
road
and
record
16.
they have the second best road record in the league.
They're under 500 at home.
Yeah, I know. Shout out Baltimore.
Interleague, they're 20-14.
that seems kind of not that great for the Red Sox used to kill National League teams.
I know.
Although maybe it's just because they didn't play them as much that it felt like they really killed them. When, in all honesty, they maybe went
They
like
really did.
They
Like,
did, but not this. But maybe not as much as well as our recollection. Because back then you played what 12 or 15 maybe interleague games.
yeah.
So like, if you went like if you went 9-6 or 10-5, that's kind of killing them. But like realistically, like it's good. Do not get me wrong, but it's not like insane. It's not like they went 12-3. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like it, like, like if we went to like I don't know. Well, let's pick a year where they were good. Oh, they were. Let's see. What year were they really good? How about you know what? Let's go to 2007 because that's the year they won a World Series. Well, let's just see because this is against the National League. They were 12-6. That's good. That's very good, but it's not like I don't. It's very good, but they won two out of 3 games that year, which is 667 winning percentage. Overall, they had a 593 winning percentage, so it's not like they overperformed against the National League in terms of their against the American League, but not by like a crazy amount. Like it wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because when you're a good team, you're going to win the majority of games anyways. Like in 2013, against an interleague. Now they went 14-6. I'd say that's killing the National League. But 12-6 when that's like a 666 winning percentage when your winning percentage in that season is basically 600. Like, yeah, you did well, but like you didn't kill them really compared to like anyone else. Like, because overall, like winning 6 out of 10 or winning 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, like it's a 1 game difference, and out of every 10. Does it make a lot over the course of the season? Yeah, but like even then, it's not like you go 6-10 every 10 games, or you go 7-10. You're probably making the playoffs either way.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see though. But should we even do a prediction for this Yankee series? Or
I mean, we can say that
we said we both had a sweep. Like genuinely,
I don't
like
know.
I had a sweep.
I don't know if I had a sweep.
I said screw it. I said screw it. The Yankees have been the worst team in baseball, and
but
like
it's the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. I feel like they got to win 1 game, and I feel like Gerrit Cole is due for like a really good start. I know he typically sucks against the Red Sox, but that's at Fenway. I feel like he's good against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. I don't know. I just don't have a great feeling. I want to see what Gerrit Cole's numbers are against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium.
but the Rafael Devers saving his 1,000th hit against Gerrit Cole.
Maybe.
That was Coley Mick. I stole that from Coley Mick, but it makes sense.
Maybe he is though.
Bro, sandbagging on purpose. That'd be awesome. So, what are the numbers, Derek? If you got it,
I'm still looking them up. Let me see. Ballpark. Yankee Stadium. Obviously the second one. Against the Red Sox.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, hold on. Dun 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 versus Boston.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay. Against. Oh, how do I make it so the seasons are like? So Gerrit Cole. Oh, we'll go by the season. So he had 1 start against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium in 2020, 120, where he went. He had a 129 ERA. In 2021, 1 start, 150 ERA. Here's the difference. In 2022, he had 3 starts against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium, a 4.76 ERA. Last year, he had 2 starts against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium, had a 7.20 ERA. So maybe he's not good against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. I don't know. Against the Red Sox in general, yeah, he's been bad in general against the Red Sox. You know what?
Kryptonite.
Yeah, the Red Sox might be his kryptonite, actually, now that I think about it. So, you know what? Who's actually Luis Gill's pitching in the third game?
Eh,
Um,
he's come down to earth.
he has,
But
but
it's a Sunday night.
you don't know it's a Sunday. The Red Sox don't lose on Sundays. You know, screw it. I'm going sweep.
Yeah.
Screw it. All right. I think we got a couple more things we got to touch on though.
For
Let's start with news. Let's start with news and note of the week because we talked about this guy already, but all right, we already talked about him. Jason, take a guess who this is.
Aaron Bates,
No,
Garrett
it's
Cole,
someone who actively is playing.
someone who's playing. Rafael Devers.
No, he's not on the Red Sox.
Is he on the Yankees?
No,
We talked about this guy.
we brought him up.
Garrett Richards.
No, he was on the 2021 Red
Matt
Sox.
Andrees.
No, right position though.
Relief pitcher. Tanner Scott.
Former number 2 prospect in the Red Sox system.
Oh,
Lefty.
lefty.
Yeah, dude.
Why am I blanking?
Lefty reliever.
I can't think of his name.
Who throws extremely hard and never knew where it was going.
Darwinzon Hernandez. Yes, sir.
Darwinzon Hernandez. So, fun thing on Darwinzon, he is actually, so last year, he started the year in AAA with Baltimore. Not struggle, sorry, 2.96 ERA, not bad, but he ends up getting released. Or he opted out, I don't remember. He ended up going over to Japan and signed for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And he's been very solid there. Now the Hawks they're kind of like being the Dodgers of the NPB, whereas like they're just spending money literally out the ass. Like I think they signed Roberto Ozuna. Yes, that Roberto Ozuna who used to play for the Astros. They gave him like a 4-year deal for $28 million US dollars, which is insane in Japan. They gave him 4 years, $28 million US dollars, right? Darwinzon Hernandez last year had a 2.70 ERA in 10 innings, with a 16 strikeouts per 9. He did walk 7 guys per 9 though, so that the walks were still there. However, this year, 24 appearances, 20 innings. He's got a 14.6 strikeout rate. So the strikeouts have dipped a little bit. Also, but he's pitched more innings. But he's only allowing 3.4 walks per 9, which is a by far career high for Darwinzon. So, good for him. Sorry. 3.9. The 3.4 is affected by his couple appearances in the farm, down on the farm. So 3.9, besides, that's still a career low by far for him. His career low might be like in the 5 range, and I think that's when he was in back when he was in high A with the Red Sox as a starter. Like, the guy's always wanted people. But in those 21 games, 21 innings on the NPB team, the big league team, he's got a 1.71 ERA in those 21 games, 21 innings, and 3 innings on the farm. So sometimes they'll send players down to the farm to either rehab or sometimes just get some work in. Maybe they haven't pitched in a little bit. And 3 innings on the farm, he hasn't given up a run either. But basically, Darwinzon Hernandez is having a very good year in Japan. So, shout out to him, because that's a guy who, if you were following Red Sox prospects in that 2018, 2019 time range, more so kind of 2019-ish, but Darwinzon was significant, this guy could be a very good starting pitcher, kind of hype. Obviously, there were a ton of question marks, and that's when the farm system, He was very going to be hit or miss for the most part, but he peaked at number 2 on the Sox prospects top six. I think it was still top 60 in 2019, but they only had the top 20 in the rankings history. But he peaked at number 2 on their April rankings in 2019 as their number 2 prospect, ahead of names such as Tristan Casas, Tanner Houck, and Jaron Durant. But Darwinzon, he was only signed for $7,500 out of Venezuela. He's always had the stuff to be a quality big league arm, but it's always been command for him.
You mentioned it yourself. When he's pitching, he hopes and prays it's in the strike zone.
Yeah, literally. No, literally. Like the guy could strike out. So Darwinzon would strike out so many people. The issue is he'd also walk that many people as well. Like, that was always the issue. If you look at Darwinzon's career and you just kind of go through his career just in the big leagues, just look at his big league numbers. In 2019, in 30 innings, 39% strikeout rate, but an 18% walk rate. You know, you just look. I will just say his big league totals: 85 and a third innings in the big leagues, 32% strikeout rate, 18% walk rate. He just literally walked everyone. Walked everyone, right? And that was always the issue. He just walked so many people. But I will say, like I said, it's nice to see him in Japan finding some success. It's nice to see. So, yeah.
Yeah. My news and notes of the week. So, now the Mets have been quote-unquote back. The Grimace era?
Mets?
Yeah.
And then the, pop star Jose Iglesias?
So, they must have cursed them. Jose Iglesias must have cursed the Mets. Shocker. Because last night, the Pittsburgh Pirates tied a franchise record with 7 home runs in a single game. That was 2 grand slams, too. The Mets, however, tied a franchise record, too, by giving up 7 home runs. I just want you to think about that for a second. The Mets are back to being the Mets.
Oh, it was Luis Severino on the mound. Let's be fair.
But still.
And Jake Diekman. Oh my God. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, Jake Diekman, I got a text from Mets fans saying DFA him now. I'm sure you've heard that one before.
How did the Red Sox get Reese McGuire for him?
Because the White Sox they traded the big D for the D.
No, literally, how did the Red Sox get Reese McGuire? I don't like Reese McGuire, but the fact that they got literally if they got a penny back from the White Sox, I mean, actually, you know what? It would have been a win for the Red Sox if the Red Sox had to pay the White Sox $1 million to get Diekman out of there. That's how bad Jake Diekman was. And he was on a 2-year deal. People don't remember that. He was on a 2-year deal as well at $3-4 million per, right?
Reese McGuire's not a bad backup catcher. Jake Diekman's a bad pitcher.
Yeah, the fact that they got anything for Diekman was a surprise. It's a win. And then the fact that anything is the half-decent backup catcher, it's oh my God. Also, so, real quick, we'll go back to that White Sox team. Do you know why they traded Reese McGuire? You know who their catchers were?
Who?
Yasmani Grandal, who in that season had a 64 OPS plus, and Sebi Zavala, who in 61 games was good, and I know Reese McGuire was not good for the White Sox, but could you not figure out that at 33 Yasmani Grandal was falling off a cliff?
The White Sox are dumb. Didn't they still have La Russa then?
In 2022, yes. No, that was the year La Russa ended up stepping aside late in the year.
Oh.
But basically, the reason I bring that up, because last year, their catching duo was Grandal and Sebi Zavala, who was terrible, and then they brought in Corey Lee and whatnot, And now that gets you to this year where their catchers are Corey Lee, who former somewhat top prospect with the Astros, but he's never really done anything. He's still only 25, but still. And then Martin Maldonado. They could have Reese McGuire and have not touched Jake Diekman. And not that Reese McGuire's good, but he's better than Martin Maldonado. And
Yes.
I like Corey Lee in terms of, I think he still has some room to grow. And I know Reese is probably worse than Corey Lee, but Reese McGuire would be a very nice backup catcher to Corey Lee. I'm just saying. And you know what? When the White Sox, when they get the opportunity, because the Angels were idiots and decided to trade them, make stupid trades with them, as once, what's his face? I'm drawing a blank and this is going to bother me.
Hat.
Oh no, I'm drawing a straight blank. Didn't the Angels, didn't the Angels trade them for Giolito and whatnot?
For Giolito, and then they trade like their number 2 and number 4.
Yeah, but wasn't one of them a catcher? Yeah, Edgar Cuero, that's who it was. Who is in AAA right now. In AAA, he just got moved up to AAA. He's played 2 games in AAA. He's the White Sox number 4 prospect right now. He's their number 2 position player prospect. So, I'm just saying, Reese McGuire would be a very nice backup until Edgar Cuero is ready. And I know you could say, oh, Max Stassi's injured. Max Stassi is not that good.
Yep.
Remember
when they had Kurt Suzuki?
The Whites. Remember when they had Tyler Flowers, who I hate Tyler Flowers, by the way.
What did he do to you?
You do not understand the pain he inflicted on me.
Anyways.
The guy was an absolute lock to hit a homer against me in MLB 2K10. Absolute lock to hit a homer. 2K10, 2K11, 2K... Didn't matter. Lock to hit a home run.
I know. It was wild. That's wild, bro. That's wild.
Every single
Maybe
game,
you just suck.
No, because it was only him. I would go out there and pitch a 2-hitter, and the 2 hits were a Tyler Flowers double and a Tyler Flowers home run.
Tyler Flowers, friend of the show. Enemy of the show, rather.
Absolutely not a friend of the show.
What if I just got him on and he joined randomly? What would you do?
I'd tell him, it's nice that you're here, but I also hate you because of MLB 2K. Just so you know. That's what I would really tell him. Like, you ruined my childhood somewhat. Not actually.
Okay.
Not actually, but you get the point.
Yeah. So that's news and notes of the week. You want to do stats?
Yes. You want to take stats first?
We're running out of time. I'll do stats first. The Seattle Mariners have been such a bad team. You know why?
I know why.
The Seattle Mariners have had, since June 23rd, they've had a full... Where the hell did it go? Hold on. I lost it. What?
Wow.
Oh, there we go. I got it back. Shut up. They've been awful batting. Their team been batting since their last 10 games. 173 batting average, an on base of 265, a slugging of 296. Do the math. That's good for an OPS of 561. That's awful. And they're in first place. First freaking place. The AL West is turning into a crapshoot. Because it is. Right? Like, for reference, the Astros are only 2 games back now. Mariners are 49-41. Their away record has been awful. Talk about bad away records. They're 19-25. And have a run differential of +6. So, that's my stat of the week. Keep it quick since we're running out of time.
Well, I kind of have 2 stats of the week, but we'll go with the important one first. Cleveland, Progressive Field in Cleveland has turned into a home run paradise. For reference, last year it was the worst home run park in the big leagues, with a 67 park factor for home runs. That's their home run park factor. Their regular park factor was 94. This year, their regular park factor has jumped up from 94 to 104. So instead of being 6% in pitcher's favor, they're now 4% in hitter's favor. And the home run park factor this year has jumped up to guess what?
What?
127.
Jesus Christ.
So from 67 home run park factor to 127. So instead of being 33% in favor of pitchers for home runs, they're now 27% in favor for hitters. You know why?
Why?
They did some construction in right field, and Trevor May talked about this on his TikTok. That's where I first saw it. I know a bunch of other people talk about it, but this should be brought up. They removed like these concrete walls or whatnot. I don't fully know what they did, but they basically created a wind tunnel. So instead of the wind bouncing off those walls and bouncing back, the wind's just flowing through there and just going. So it's creating a tunnel. It's creating like a wind tunnel out the right field. And so balls are just flying out of Cleveland. I think someone hit a home run with like an 89 mile per hour exit velo. They hit the ball and it was like a 30-degree launch angle, which as of I think per Statcast, I think or someone found this on Statcast that no other ball hit at that exit velo and launch angle had ever been a home run. Happened in Cleveland though, because the ball got high enough, got in that wind tunnel, and just went. So that's kind of my stat of the week. My other one is because it's the summer and because the Euros are going on, I found this absolutely hilarious. So France are now in the semifinal of the Euros. However, they have not scored a goal in open play.
What?
Their only goals, the only goals they have scored have been own goals or penalty. They've had 2 own goals. They won their first game on an own goal. They won their second game was a draw, and their third game in the group stage they won on a penalty. They got a penalty, scored the penalty. So they won 1-0, then 0-0, then 1-0 on a penalty. Then they get to the knockouts. They won against Belgium on a Belgium own goal. And then they just played yesterday. They played Portugal, and the game was 0-0 through extra time, and they won on penalty kicks, on a penalty shootout.
That's insane, bro.
So that's the first time it's ever happened. They're now in the semifinals, and they're arguably the best team in the entire Euros, but they have not scored a goal from open play with an 8.18 expected goals. So they have over 8 expected goals from open play, and they haven't scored once.
That's insane, dude.
So they're extremely underperforming, and they haven't scored a goal in open play, but they're in the semifinals. So I thought that was insane. So I did have to say that one, but yeah, those are my stats of the week.
All right, there you go. Thanks, Derek.
France
final thoughts?
Stat of the year.
That could be stat of the year. Let's see what happens to them. Final thoughts, Derek.
Not much. The Yankees lose. If you want to see me meme the Yankees with wrestling, check out my Twitter at Derrik_Maguire, DERRIK_MAGUIRE, because I absolutely roasted them. Totally.
Yep. Alrighty. For Derek, I'm Jason. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and go Sox.